The first thing Amara Williams noticed was the blood. Not the expensive black suit. Not a luxury watch. Not the sleek black Mercedes parked illegally beneath the hotel entrance. The blood. It was dripping slowly from the man's knuckles onto the white marble floor. Amara froze. The stranger was sitting alone on the steps behind the hotel, his head lowered between his hands. He looked nothing like the powerful men who usually walked through the lobby of the Hansong Grand. He looked broken. And then he whispered something that made Amara stop breathing. "Please." She looked around. There was nobody else in the alley. The man lifted his head. His eyes were red. Not angry. Not drunk. He had been crying. "Please don't call anyone." Amara tightened her grip around the tray she was carrying. "I wasn't planning to." The man looked at her. For several seconds, neither spoke. Then he asked, "Do you believe people can destroy your life and still call themselves your family?" Amara's expression changed, because she knew exactly what that felt like. She had spent the last 3 years trying to forget, trying to forgive, trying to rebuild. She should have walked away. Instead, she placed the tray on the ground. "What's your name?" The stranger stared at her. "Does it matter?" "No." She sat beside him. "But you're bleeding." He looked down at his hand. "It's not my blood." Amara's eyes widened. Before she could ask whose blood it was, headlights suddenly swept across the alley. A black sedan stopped at the entrance. The stranger stood instantly. His entire demeanor changed. The sadness disappeared. His jaw tightened. His eyes became cold. "Go inside." Amara stood. "Why?" "Because they're looking for me." "Who?" He didn't answer. 3 men stepped out of the vehicle, all wearing black. One of them shouted, "Chairman Kang." Amara looked at the stranger. "Chairman?" The man looked at her one last time and said quietly, "Forget you ever saw me." Then he disappeared into the darkness. Amara Williams was 29 years old and had learned one important lesson about rich people. They could hide almost anything. She had worked at the Hansong Grand Hotel in Seoul for nearly 2 years. She had watched celebrities arrive through private entrances. Politicians hold secret meetings upstairs. Korean businessmen exchange millions of dollars over dinner. She had even once served champagne to a family whose company owned half the buildings in Gangnam. But she had never seen anyone look as devastated as the man behind the hotel that night. The following morning, she couldn't stop thinking about him. She tried to convince herself that it wasn't her problem. She was a waitress. He was clearly wealthy. Whatever family drama he was involved in had nothing to do with her. But at 11:47 that morning, a black Mercedes stopped in front of the hotel. A tall Korean man in a charcoal suit entered. He approached the reception desk. "Amara Williams?" She looked up. "Yes." The man studied her face. "Are you Amara Williams?" She frowned. "Yes." He reached into his jacket and pulled out a business card. "Kang Min-jae, CEO, Kang Group." Amara's stomach tightened. The name was impossible to miss. Kang Group was one of the largest conglomerates in South Korea. She had seen their headquarters from the bus every morning. "What can I help you with?" Min-jae lowered his voice. "My brother wants to see you." Amara's heart stopped. "Your brother?" He nodded. "Chairman Kang Tae-hyun." The name hit her like ice water. The stranger. The crying man. The man she had found behind the hotel. Amara immediately shook her head. "No." Min-jae looked surprised. "You haven't even heard what he wants." "I don't need to." She turned away. Then Min-jae said, "He knows about your mother." Amara froze. Slowly, she turned around. "What did you say?" Min-jae's expression remained unreadable. "Your mother." Amara's hands began trembling. Her mother had been dead for 6 years. And very few people in Korea even knew she existed. "Who told you about my mother?" Min-jae looked at her. "My grandmother." Please take a second to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't done that yet, because Amara was about to discover that her mother's past in Korea was much bigger than she'd ever been told. That evening, Amara was taken to a private residence overlooking the Han River. She expected a mansion. She got something closer to a palace. The doors opened. An elderly Korean woman sat at the far end of the room. She was dressed simply. No jewelry. No dramatic makeup. But everyone around her stood whenever she moved. Amara immediately understood. This was the woman who controlled the Kang family. The grandmother. The matriarch. She looked at Amara for almost a full minute. Then she said, "You have your mother's eyes." Amara swallowed. "You knew my mother?" The old woman nodded. "Better than you think." "Who are you?" "My name is Kang Sunhee." Amara stared. Sunhee gestured toward the chair opposite her. "Sit." Amara didn't move. "Why am I here?" "Because my grandson has made a foolish request." Amara's heart skipped. "Your grandson?" Sunhee nodded. "Taehyun." "What request?" The old woman looked directly into Amara's eyes. "He wants you to marry him." Amara almost laughed. Instead, she stared at the woman. "I'm sorry." Temporarily. Silence. Amara finally laughed. It wasn't a happy laugh. It was disbelief. "You brought me to a mansion to tell me a billionaire wants me to fake a marriage?" Sunhee's face remained serious. "Yes." "Why me?" The old woman looked toward the window. "Because he trusts you." Amara shook her head. "He doesn't know me." "He knows enough. Your grandson met me for 5 minutes. That's longer than most people know him." Amara stood. "I can't do this." Sunhee didn't stop her. Instead, she said, "Your mother once saved my life." Amara stopped. Slowly, she turned. "What?" The old woman reached into a drawer. She removed an old photograph, then placed it on the table. Amara approached. Her breath caught. The photograph showed a much younger Sunhee standing beside a smiling black woman. Amara's mother. Her mother was holding a little Korean boy. Amara looked at the boy, then looked at Sunhee. "Who is that?" Sunhee answered, "My grandson." Amara's eyes widened. "Taehyun?" Sunhee nodded. "But that photograph was taken 26 years ago." "Yes." Amara looked back at her mother. "My mother never told me about this." "She was protecting you." "From what?" Sunhee's expression darkened. "From us." Amara should have left. She knew that. Every instinct told her to walk away. But before she could, the doors opened. Taehyun entered. He was no longer the broken man she had seen behind the hotel. He looked like the man everyone feared. Tall, composed, immaculately dressed. His face was emotionless. He stopped when he saw Amara. Their eyes met. For a moment, the room disappeared. Then he looked at his grandmother. "You told her." Sunhee nodded. Taehyun closed his eyes. "Grandmother, you don't have time." He looked at Amara. "I know this is insane." "That's an understatement." "I need your help. You need a lawyer. I need someone my family can't control." Amara crossed her arms. "And that's me?" "Yes." "Why?" Taehyun walked toward her. "My father died 3 weeks ago." Amara said nothing. "His will contains a condition." "What condition?" "To become chairman of Kang Group, I have to be married." She stared at him. "That's ridiculous." "I agree." "Then challenge it." "I can't." "Why?" He looked toward his grandmother. "Because my father's will was written before his death, and the board has already accepted it." Amara frowned. "So you want a fake wife?" "For 7 days. And after 7 days? The board meeting happens. And then you walk away. That's it?" He nodded. "What do I get?" Taehyun's answer came immediately. $200,000. Amara stared at him. 200,000. For 7 days. It was more money than she had earned in several years. But she still shook her head. "No." Taehyun looked surprised. "You don't even want to negotiate?" "I don't want to sell myself." "I wasn't asking you to. You're asking me to pretend to be your wife." "Yes." "In front of your family." "Yes." "Your business partners." "Yes." "Your entire world." "Yes." "And you think money makes that okay?" "No." He paused. "That's why I chose you." Amara frowned. "What does that mean?" Taehyun's voice softened. "You're the first person I've met in years who looked at me and didn't care who I was." Amara remembered the alley. The blood. The tears. "You were crying." He looked away. "I know." "Why?" Silence. Then, "My brother tried to kill me." Amara froze. That was the moment she realized this wasn't a fake marriage story. It was a survival story. And Taehyun wasn't trying to become chairman because he wanted power. He was trying to become chairman because if he lost, someone in his own family would make sure he never survived long enough to challenge them again. Amara eventually agreed. But she added one condition. No lies. Taehyun looked at her. No lies. If something threatens me, you tell me. I will. If your family tries to hurt me, I'm leaving. I won't let them. And if you ever touch me without my permission, I won't. She extended her hand. 7 days. He shook it. 7 days. Neither noticed Sun-hee watching them. And smiling sadly. Because she knew something neither of them knew. The marriage contract wasn't the only thing her grandson had signed. The wedding took place 48 hours later. There was no church. No priest. No romantic ceremony. Just lawyers. A private registrar. 2 witnesses. And an agreement worth $200,000. Amara wore a simple cream dress. Taehyun wore black. When the papers were placed in front of them, Amara noticed something strange. The final page was missing. Where's the last page? The lawyer froze. Taehyun looked at him. What happened? The lawyer stammered. It was there earlier. Amara immediately stood. I'm not signing anything until I see every page. Taehyun's eyes narrowed. He took the document. Then he looked at his lawyer. Who removed it? Nobody answered. Suddenly, the door opened. Min-jae entered. He looked directly at Amara. Then at Taehyun. The board meeting has been moved. When? Tomorrow morning. Taehyun's face hardened. That wasn't supposed to happen for another 5 days. Min-jae nodded. Someone changed the schedule. Who? Min-jae hesitated. Your uncle. The room went silent. Taehyun slowly folded the contract. Then we don't have 7 days. He looked at Amara. We have 24 hours. That night, Amara moved into the Kang residence. The first dinner was a disaster. There were 12 people at the table. Taehyun's uncle, his aunt, his cousins, 3 senior executives, 2 lawyers, and Sun-hee. Everyone stared at Amara. Finally, Taehyun's uncle laughed. So this is the woman. Amara looked at him. The woman. The American. Amara smiled politely. My name is Amara. He ignored it. How much did my nephew pay you? The room went silent. Taehyun placed his glass down. Enough. His uncle smiled. You've always had poor taste in women. Amara looked at him. Then smiled. That's interesting. He raised an eyebrow. My mother used to say wealthy families often confuse money with intelligence. The table went silent. Taehyun nearly smiled. His uncle's face darkened. Sun-hee looked down. Because Amara had just repeated something her mother used to say. Something only 2 people in the room should have known. That night, Amara couldn't sleep. She walked downstairs. She found Sun-hee sitting alone. The elderly woman was holding the old photograph. Amara approached. You knew my mother? Yes. Tell me everything. Sun-hee remained silent. My mother lived in America. Before that, she lived here. For how long? 3 years. Why? Sun-hee looked at her. She worked for us. As what? A translator. Amara frowned. My mother spoke Korean? Fluently. Amara had never known. Her mother had always refused to speak about Korea. She had assumed it was because of painful memories. Now she understood there was something else. What happened? Sun-hee's eyes filled with tears. Your mother discovered something. What? A financial crime. Amara's breathing slowed. Inside Kang Group? Sun-hee nodded. Someone had been stealing billions. Who? Sun-hee looked toward the staircase. Then whispered. My son. Amara's eyes widened. Taehyun's father? Yes. But if he was stealing from the company, he wasn't doing it alone. Who helped him? Sun-hee didn't answer. Amara suddenly heard footsteps. She turned. Nobody was there. When she looked back at Sun-hee, the old woman had gone pale. Go to your room. Why? Because someone is listening. Amara's heart raced. She returned upstairs. Taehyun was standing outside her bedroom. What happened? He looked at her. You heard something. Yes. What? She told him. His expression changed. My grandmother shouldn't have told you that. Why? Because my father isn't the only person involved. Who else? Taehyun looked at her. My brother. Amara remembered Min-jae. The man who came to the hotel? Yes. Your brother tried to kill you. Yes. Why? Taehyun stepped closer. Because 3 weeks ago, my father left me something. What? A flash drive. What's on it? I don't know. Amara stared at him. You don't know. He gave it to me hours before he died. Then why haven't you opened it? Taehyun's face became cold. Because the last person who tried to open it disappeared. At 2:13 a.m., they went into the private office. Taehyun opened a safe. Inside was a small black flash drive. He placed it on the desk. Amara stood beside him. You trust me enough to show me this? No. She looked at him. Then why? Because if I die, you're the only person outside my family who knows it exists. He plugged it into the computer. A single video appeared. The date. March 17, 2000. Taehyun clicked it. The screen showed an old recording. His father appeared. But he was younger. Beside him stood Amara's mother. Amara covered her mouth. Her mother looked frightened. The younger Kang chairman spoke. If you're watching this, then something has gone wrong. Taehyun stared at the screen. His father's voice continued. Your mother was right. Amara whispered. About what? The video continued. She discovered the account. A document appeared. Names. Bank transfers. Shell companies. Political payments. Millions. Then billions. Amara's mother spoke. You can't keep hiding this. The younger chairman looked at her. I know. Then tell the board. I can't. Why? He looked toward the camera. Because the person controlling the money is my own father. Taehyun stopped the video. He stared at Amara. That's impossible. She shook her head. Keep watching. The video resumed. His father looked directly into the camera. If my son Taehyun ever finds this, tell him one thing. The screen flickered. Then, don't trust Min-jae. Silence. Taehyun went completely still. Amara looked at him. Your brother. He nodded slowly. The video continued. But don't trust Sun-hee either. Amara's eyes widened. Then the screen went black. For the first time, Amara realized that her mother's connection to the Kang family wasn't a coincidence. Her mother had been involved in a secret that could destroy one of Korea's most powerful families. And now Amara had become the only living person connected to both sides. But the biggest secret was still buried. Because the video had been recorded 26 years earlier. And someone had kept it hidden until now. The next morning, Amara confronted Sun-hee. You knew. Sun-hee looked at her. About the video? Yes. The old woman didn't deny it. Taehyun's father gave it to me. Why didn't you tell him? Because I was afraid. Of whom? Sun-hee looked toward the door. My own son. Your son. Taehyun's father. Amara stared. But he was dead. Yes. So, what were you afraid of? Sun-hee's eyes filled with tears. That he would still find a way to hurt us. Amara didn't understand. Then Sun-hee revealed something devastating. Your mother didn't leave Korea because she wanted to. Amara froze. What do you mean? She was forced out. By who? Sun-hee whispered. Min-jae. Amara stepped backward. My mother knew Min-jae? He was 17. Why would he hurt her? Because she discovered he had been helping his father. But the video said. I know what the video said. Sun-hee's voice broke. He wasn't supposed to know your mother had survived. Amara stared at her. Survived? Sun-hee looked down. Then said. Your mother didn't die 6 years ago. Amara stopped breathing. What? She died 6 years ago in America. Sun-hee looked at her. But she survived something before that. What? The night Min-jae tried to kill her. That evening, Amara left the house alone. She needed air. She walked toward the river. Her phone rang. Unknown number. She answered. Hello. A man's voice whispered. Your mother lied to you. Amara stopped. Who is this? You shouldn't have married Taehyun. What do you want? You need to leave Korea, the voice said. Who are you? The voice answered. Ask Taehyun why your mother saved him. The call ended. Amara turned. A black SUV was parked across the street. The headlights switched on. She stepped backward. The SUV accelerated. Amara ran. The vehicle swerved toward her. Then, a hand grabbed her, pulled her sideways. The SUV crashed into a street barrier. Taehyun. He held her tightly. Are you hurt? She stared at him. You followed me? I've been following you all day. Why? Because I knew this would happen. Amara pushed him away. You knew. His silence was enough. You knew someone was coming after me? Yes. Then why didn't you tell me? I didn't want you afraid. You lied. I was trying to protect you. You promised no lies. Taehyun looked at her. I know. Amara's voice trembled. Did you marry me because of my mother? He didn't answer. She stared. Did you? Finally, he said. Yes. Her heart broke. Amara returned to the mansion. She packed her suitcase. Taehyun stood in the doorway. Where are you going? Home. You can't. You don't get to tell me where I can go. They know where you live. I don't care. I do. She turned. That's your problem. Taehyun lowered his voice. I knew who you were before I approached you. Amara froze. How long? 6 months. She stared at him. 6 months. I found your name in my father's records. So this whole thing was planned? No. Then what was real? He looked devastated. You. Amara said nothing. I didn't expect to meet you. But you did. Yes. And then you used me. I needed you. For what? To find the truth. Amara laughed bitterly. And now? Taehyun looked at her. Now I don't care about the truth. Why? Because I fell in love with you. Silence. Amara's eyes filled with tears. Don't say that. It's true. You don't get to love someone after manipulating them. I know. Then let me go. He stepped aside. Amara picked up her suitcase. As she passed him, he whispered, I'll protect you even if you never forgive me. She stopped, but didn't turn around. Amara reached the elevator. The doors opened. Inside stood Min-jae. He smiled. Leaving already? Amara stepped back. Min-jae pressed the emergency button. The elevator stopped. Her heart raced. You're the one who called me. Yes. Why? Because Taehyun will destroy you. Why should I believe you? You shouldn't. He smiled. But you should listen. He pulled out his phone. A photograph appeared. Amara's mother, standing beside Taehyun. But the photograph wasn't old. It had been taken only 7 years ago. Amara stared. That can't be. It was taken 2 years before your mother died. Her hands trembled. My mother told me she hadn't been to Korea in 15 years. She lied. Why? Min-jae leaned closer. Because she was working for my father. Amara shook her head. No. She wasn't investigating him. He smiled. She was helping him. That revelation destroyed everything Amara thought she knew. Her mother wasn't simply a victim. She might have been part of the conspiracy. And Taehyun might have known. Min-jae released the elevator. Amara walked out. But instead of leaving, she returned to Taehyun's office. She found him sitting alone. She threw the photograph onto the desk. Explain. He looked at it. His face changed. Where did you get this? Your brother. Taehyun stood. He showed you. Yes. Don't believe him. Why? Because the photograph is real. Amara stared. You knew? Yes. How? My father showed it to me. When? Before he died. Then why did you lie? Taehyun's eyes filled with tears. Because your mother asked me to. Amara froze. What? Taehyun opened another safe. He removed a second flash drive. This one isn't from my father. He placed it in her hand. It's from your mother. Amara stared. My mother. She sent it to me 6 years ago. Why didn't you give it to me? Because she said not to. Why? Because she knew you would come looking for the truth. Amara plugged it in. A video appeared. Her mother. Older. Tired. But alive. Amara's breath caught. Amara. Her mother's voice. Amara covered her mouth. The woman on screen looked directly into the camera. If you're watching this, then I'm gone. Amara began crying. Her mother continued. I need you to forgive me. I lied to you about Korea. Her mother's voice trembled. I told you I was a translator because I was ashamed of what I had done. Amara stared at the screen. I didn't come to Korea because of work. I came because I was hired by Kang Group. I was supposed to steal something. Taehyun stood behind Amara. The video continued. But I changed my mind. I discovered that the people who hired me weren't trying to steal money. They were trying to destroy the Kang family. Amara wiped her tears. Her mother looked down. I fell in love with someone. The video paused. Then a photograph appeared. A young Korean man. Amara stared. She didn't recognize him. Taehyun did. His face went pale. That was my uncle. Amara looked at him. Your uncle? He nodded. My father's younger brother. The video continued. He was the first person who tried to protect me. But he was killed. Amara gasped. Who killed him? Her mother looked directly at the camera. His own family. Then the video ended. Everything changed. Taehyun finally told Amara the truth. His uncle hadn't died in an accident. He had been murdered because he discovered that Kang Group's illegal empire wasn't controlled by Taehyun's father. It was controlled by someone much higher. Someone who had been manipulating the family for decades. Sun-hee, the grandmother. Amara remembered the warning from the first flash drive. Don't trust Sun-hee. Taehyun refused to believe it. She raised me. People can raise you and still betray you. She protected me. Or she protected the secret. He stared at her. Then suddenly, a gunshot shattered the window. Taehyun grabbed Amara. They fell behind the desk. Another shot. Then silence. Taehyun looked at her. Stay here. No. Amara. I've had enough of being protected. She picked up the flash drive. We find the truth. They confronted Sun-hee that night. The old woman didn't look surprised. You finally know. Taehyun stared at her. Did you kill my uncle? Sun-hee closed her eyes. No. Then who? She looked at Amara. Your mother. Silence. Amara shook her head. No. Your mother didn't kill him. Sun-hee's eyes filled with tears. She witnessed his murder. By whom? Sun-hee whispered. My husband. Taehyun froze. My grandfather? Sun-hee nodded. He was the architect. Then why did my father take the blame? Because he was protecting you. Taehyun stepped back. Why didn't you tell me? Because your father made me promise. And my mother? She knew. Why did she leave? Sun-hee looked at Amara. Because your mother was pregnant. Amara's face went blank. Pregnant? Sun-hee nodded. With whom? The room became silent. Sun-hee looked at Taehyun, then at Amara, and said, with my grandson. Taehyun stopped breathing. Amara stared. No. Sun-hee whispered. Your mother was pregnant with Taehyun's child. Amara couldn't speak. Taehyun looked equally stunned. My mother. Sun-hee nodded. She was 22. Taehyun shook his head. That's impossible. She was afraid your family would take the child. So she left. Yes. Did she have the baby? Sun-hee looked at Amara. She did. Amara's heart pounded. Where is the child? Sun-hee looked down. He died. Amara's face fell. But something didn't make sense. Then why did my mother say she was protecting me? Sun-hee looked at her. Because she wasn't talking about herself. Amara froze. Taehyun stared. What are you saying? Sun-hee reached into a drawer. She pulled out a small silver bracelet. Amara recognized it immediately. She had seen it in her mother's old belongings. What is that? Sun-hee whispered. The bracelet your mother put on her baby. Amara's hands shook. Sun-hee handed it to her. There was a tiny inscription inside. A.W. Amara's initials. Her eyes widened. No. Taehyun stared at her. Amara. Sun-hee whispered. You were the child. Amara couldn't breathe. Her entire life suddenly felt like a lie. She had believed she was born in America. She had believed her father was an American man she'd never known. She had believed her mother had left Korea before Amara was born. But none of it was true. Her mother had given birth to her in Korea. Her father was Korean. And the family standing around her wasn't simply connected to her mother. They were connected to her. Taehyun looked devastated. Why didn't anyone tell me? Son, he answered. Because your grandfather would have killed you both. Amara stared at the old woman. You knew? Yes. You knew I was your granddaughter? Son, he nodded. For 29 years. Amara's eyes filled with tears. Then why did you let me live without knowing my family? Because your mother begged me. Why? Because she believed the only way to keep you alive was to make you believe you belonged somewhere else. Amara shook her head. You let me grow up thinking I had no father. Son, he began crying. I know. You let me believe my mother didn't love me. She loved you more than anything. Then why? Son, he's voice broke. Because your father was killed. Amara froze. My father. Son, he nodded. Taehyun's uncle. The man from the photograph. The man her mother loved. The man who had been murdered by his own family. Amara had spent her entire life believing she had no father. But she had been born into one of Korea's most powerful families. And nobody had told her. Before anyone could say another word, the doors burst open. Min-jae entered. Armed men surrounded the room. He looked at Amara. Now you understand. Taehyun stepped in front of her. Min-jae laughed. You still don't get it. He looked at his grandmother. You should have killed her 29 years ago. Sun-hee closed her eyes. Min-jae continued. Your mother stole the inheritance. Amara frowned. What inheritance? Min-jae smiled. Your father left everything to you. Taehyun looked at him. What? Every share. Every person in the room went silent. The family fortune was supposed to belong to Amara. Min-jae laughed. That was why your grandfather ordered her death. Amara stared. My mother knew? Yes. She ran. Yes. Then why didn't she tell me? Because she knew we would find you. Min-jae looked at Taehyun. And now you brought her right back to us. The next morning, the Kang Group board meeting began. Every major executive was present. Min-jae expected to become chairman. He had the votes. He had the documents. He had lawyers. He had the family. What he didn't have was the truth. Taehyun entered first. Amara walked beside him. The room erupted. One executive stood. This woman cannot be here. Taehyun answered. She has more right to this company than any of you. Min-jae laughed. She's a waitress. Amara stepped forward. No. She placed the silver bracelet on the table. I'm Kang Amara. Silence. The room froze. Then Sun-hee entered. She placed a folder on the table. She's the legal heir. Min-jae's smile disappeared. He turned to his grandmother. You wouldn't. Sun-hee looked at him. I should have stopped you 20 years ago. Min-jae's face twisted. You chose them over me. No. She looked at Amara. I chose the truth. The lawyers opened the original inheritance document. The document named one beneficiary. Kang Amara Williams. Everything. Shares. Property. Trusts. Corporate holdings. All of it. Min-jae had spent years manipulating the company because he believed he was next in line. He wasn't. Amara was. But then Min-jae revealed one final secret. You think you've won? He laughed. Ask your husband. Amara looked at Taehyun. What? Min-jae smiled. He knew about the inheritance before he met you. Taehyun didn't speak. Amara's heart sank. You knew. Taehyun closed his eyes. Yes. She stared at him. How long? 6 months. So everything was a lie. No. You knew who I was. Yes. You knew I was the heir. Yes. You approached me because of it. At first. Amara stepped back. At first. Taehyun looked at her. The first time I saw you in that alley, I knew who you were. She shook her head. Then why did you ask me to marry you? His voice broke. Because I thought I could protect you. By lying. I was afraid. Of what? That if you knew who you were, you would become a target. Amara whispered. You should have trusted me. Taehyun looked at her. I know. Amara walked away from the boardroom. She left the company. She left the mansion. She left the marriage. For 3 months, she disappeared. She returned to the small apartment where she'd lived before all of this. She went back to work. She ignored the headlines. She refused the inheritance. She refused the company. She refused Taehyun's calls. Until one night, there was a knock on her door. It was Sunhee. The old woman stood alone. No security. No driver. No bodyguards. She handed Amara an envelope. Your mother wrote this for you. Amara stared at it. She wrote it before she died. Inside was a letter. Amara opened it. Her mother's handwriting filled the page. My daughter, if you are reading this, then the truth finally found you. I wanted to tell you everything. Every day. But I was afraid. I didn't leave Korea because I didn't love your father. I left because I loved you. And if I could choose again, I would still choose you. You were never unwanted. You were never abandoned. You were the reason I survived. Amara began crying. At the bottom was one final sentence. And if you ever meet Taehyun again, remember that he was only a boy when he lost his family too. Amara folded the letter. Then she looked at Sunhee. Where is he? Amara found Taehyun exactly where their story had begun. Behind the hotel. Sitting alone. No security. No luxury car. No billionaire entourage. Just him. She stood several feet away. He looked up. Their eyes met. He didn't move. Neither did she. Finally, Amara said, You look terrible. He smiled faintly. I've been better. She sat beside him. Silence. Then, I read my mother's letter. He nodded. She told me to forgive you. I don't deserve it. No. She looked at him. You don't. He accepted it. But, she took a small box from her pocket. Inside was the wedding ring. She placed it in his hand. His eyes widened. You kept it? Yes. Why? Because I never stopped loving you. His eyes filled with tears. But I don't want a fake marriage. He looked at her. What do you want? She smiled through her tears. A real one. He stared at her. Are you sure? No. He laughed. She laughed too. But I'm willing to find out. He took her hand. This time, there was no contract. No inheritance. No board meeting. No family pressure. Just two people. 1 year later, Amara stood in front of the Kang Group headquarters. But she wasn't there as a waitress. She wasn't there as the hidden heir. She wasn't there as Taehyun's wife. She was there as the new chairwoman. The company had changed. The illegal operations were gone. The corrupt executives had been removed. Min-jae was facing trial. Sunhee had stepped down. And Taehyun? He stood beside Amara. Not in front of her. Not behind her. Beside her. At the end of the ceremony, a reporter asked, Chairwoman Kang, what changed your life? Amara smiled. She thought about the night behind the hotel. The crying stranger. The blood on his hands. The impossible proposal. The lies. The betrayal. The photograph. Her mother's letter. And the 7-day marriage that wasn't supposed to become real. She looked at Taehyun. Then answered. I thought I was helping a stranger. She smiled. But I was actually meeting my family. Sometimes the person who enters your life looking completely broken isn't there because they need saving. Sometimes. They're the person who leads you back to the truth about yourself. Amara thought she had agreed to become a billionaire's wife for 7 days. She didn't know she was walking into a family secret that had been buried for 29 years. She didn't know the woman she thought had abandoned her had spent her entire life protecting her. And she certainly didn't know that the stranger crying alone behind a Seoul hotel would become the man she eventually chose to love for real. Because some marriages begin with vows. Others begin with a lie. And sometimes, the greatest love story begins when two broken people accidentally find each other in the dark. If Amara's story kept you watching until the very end, tell me in the comments, she found the truth. And if you want more Afro-Korean cinematic stories filled with love, betrayal, billionaires, family secrets, and unexpected twists, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notification bell. Because the next story may begin with two strangers, but one of them is hiding a secret that could change everything.